John here, guys, and today we're talking about the ORT Dual Shield Pro. This is a new type of dual patch antenna solution that sticks onto the front of your goggles and is meant to be able to stay in there when you put it into a bag or your Fatshark case. And when this thing came out, I have to admit, I was a little bit like Tom Hanks in Big when they show him the building robot, and I was just like, I don't get it.
I don't get it.
What exactly don't you get?
It turns from a building into a robot, right? Well, what's fun about that?
I don't get it. I mean, TBS had just had their fiasco with their MIMO antenna, and but this is not that. This is not MIMO. This is actually two different patch antennas, and you can see that they are placed at a slightly different angle from each other. So you have one kind of going out this way, the other one kind of going out this way. And so you get a very dual patch wide antenna space, and it pairs perfectly with a module like Rapid Fire, which likes to have the same type of antenna. And so you get a very wide beam. Now, I know what you're thinking. Dual patches, what about behind you? Well, there is some very slight coverage behind you. I'll put the coverage pattern that they've published up on the screen. It is very slight, but for most of the flying that a lot of us do, you don't really ever fly behind us. So it has two of these little SMAs. It kind of connects on there, and then it has some VHB on the back. That is made by M3. I think it stands for Very Hard Bond. I'm not really sure. But M3 are masters of tape. In fact, I'm pretty sure that they probably invented that Flex Seal stuff like 75 years ago, but didn't think that mankind was ready for it yet, so they probably held off on that.
Hi, Phil Swift here for Flex Tape, the super strong waterproof tape that can instantly patch, bond, seal, and repair.
I didn't want to stick that super hard tape onto the front of my Fatshark, so all I did was just get some electrical tape and do kind of a loopy little thing, you know, the old style do-it-yourself double-sided tape stuff, just to be able to try it. I didn't want to like pull the Fatshark logo off of my goggles if I ever needed to yank this off. And I gotta say, this product does have a few compromises that you have to make in order to use it, but I think it actually does have its place. Now it just comes in a simple bag like this with a couple of stickers. But let's talk about this. You can either get a right-hand polarized or a left-hand polarized. And I think it's basically meant to stay on your goggles at all time. And if you did have a situation where you wanted to do some long range and run a regular patch or dual Omni setup, you would just undo these and attach your other antennas right on there and just leave this on for whenever you're going to do it. So at first I was thinking, well, maybe this is for racers, people that show up to the field that don't necessarily need a lot of coverage around ourselves. We're pretty much facing in one direction. We don't have a lot of range to go. So I took it to the race. This weekend it performed very well. I really didn't notice much. I was actually testing a few of the pieces of gear. One of those pieces of gear was a camera. And so if I would have noticed a lot of breakup, I would have immediately switched to what I consider to be the best antenna combination in FPV, and that is the VAS Crosshair Extreme and the VAS Ion 2. But I didn't feel the need to switch. You know, our track was only about 100 yards out from where we were sitting, performed perfectly fine, no crazy breakup at all. So I didn't even feel tempted to switch it. But that does bring up a good point, though. What if I need to go left-hand? Because as racers, we need to be able to show up to an event and switch antennas at the beginning of the event. And if we're in a very big race where you're going to have multiple tracks, you might have to be switching between tracks on the same day. So I don't know if this is the best solution for racers. I also found, because I don't use a giant bag, I use a rolling tool case. I'm going to have a review on that up pretty soon. I use this Fatshark case. And for me, fitting it in there, it was a little snug. with the battery in place, guys. A little snug. So I don't know if this is for racers. You know who I think this is actually better for? Is freestylers who like to go from place to place to place, jump out the car, rip a couple packs, pack it all up quick, go to the next place. I don't typically fly like that, but a lot of people do. And for those people, having to take on and off your antennas really is a time waste. So if you are one of those freestylers that goes from spot to spot, I really think this could be a good solution for you. Let's talk price. This thing comes out at $35, and that essentially is 2 antennas for you. This premium antenna is like, I think it's more than that. I think it's 35 or 36, 37 bucks just for the one. And you still would need to buy this thing, which is like another 20 or so. So it is a decent value. It actually looks very cool. There's no danger of your antenna. Sometimes when you have these, if it gets a little loose, all of a sudden it'll be facing down at your crotch, which doesn't get that good of reception on the flight field. Or sometimes, you know, you might bump into something walking around with this. That's not going to happen with this. So cool option, affordably priced. What do you guys think in the comments? Is anyone else using this kind of thing? Yeah, I really think it's for those freestylers. Thanks, guys.